because it originally is for marine applications like jet ski, stuff like that. And I find that it should hold up really well to any kind of moisture that's in your hands, things like that. So that's why we choose this as an outer material. It comes on large rolls. We have to break it and cut it down for each case. And this is one of the steps in the building process. So then what we need to do is take our piece of material that's oversized, and we need to cut out a piece that is like the case, but it's still going to be oversized a little bit, because the final step is to cut the edge of the case. That's the last thing we do. So first we have to load this.
And every single one of these cases, you have to take this plotter machine, and it's going to cut out a shape just like the case, but a little bit oversized, so we can trim it later.
Okay, so here we are actually cutting one of the blanks out so that we can have a blank piece to fill the case. And there you go. So you can see where we get each blank for the case. We just got done taking a lot of pieces off the laser cutter, and now we have to sort them out, clean them up, and these will be all the pieces that are going to go in the cases. So this here is the setup for the vacuum forming station, where we use vacuum, heat, and adhesive all together in a building process I'll show you here shortly, to actually form all of the creases and folds and all the little small details of the cases. Now we use vacuum for two different reasons. This material you see here will actually be for step 2. It is a special type of plastic that is heat resistant. So when I turn this on, you will see this material go totally flat, so it's able to be worked with and measured accurately. And that is when I will place some of these pieces in, and that's what you're about to see here. So this is the way that we get all of the pieces placed correctly in the right areas. You can see these are burned from the laser. Now we have to come in here and add some adhesives, which we'll see here again shortly. So here's where we will go ahead and add our adhesive into certain areas to help the edges stay sealed. We use adhesive that is flexible yet strong. It's used in leather making, stuff like that. And you will see me apply it mostly just around the edges, where this case, as you can see, is oversized. And what we're trying to do is create an entirely adhered edge that we're going to take a die over and press and trim just, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch off of the edge of each case, and that'll be the last step. But essentially what's going to happen is we create a seal here, and the air gets totally sucked out, and this plastic puts even pressure on every single nook and cranny and area of this case, while I take this heat press and place it on here, which is bonding the material. The adhesive that was already on the leather material, plus the adhesive I added, plus this material, which is a heat bond material, all together form a pretty strong bond. And you should see how that works here when I switch this on. As you can see, it helps actually form the case. And so that's what we're gonna do here once we get this finished set up. As you can see, there ends up being the right amount of pressure in different spots to add the form of the case that we need, as well as making sure there's even contact everywhere while we use the heat to bond everything. So when we reach this stage where the case is mostly finished, it's that we didn't put the gecko grip tape on yet, and the case is still too big, which we make it too big on purpose, so that there's a little bit of an edge that we completely seal with heat and glue so that it won't come separated. And to make a perfectly sealed edge, because when we build this case, we can't align each part, I mean, absolutely perfectly. So you're gonna have to actually trim it in order to get a clean edge. And when you trim it, you gotta make sure all through here, through the edge, there's enough adhesive and heat bonding to where when you freshly cut it, it's still gonna stay together, just like it is on this edge here, where it's really firmly together. So the way we do that is you'll see an inner line and an outer line right here. This outer line represents the size of the case before it gets trimmed. And so all we have to do is line it up in this jig that we built, like so, and you can see it's within the bounds of that outer line. And this smaller inner line here actually represents the size the case is going to be the right fit for your phone. And that's what size these blades are here, this die that we had produced. This is for the DUO version. And you can see these sharp edges here will actually cut exactly on this inner line. So what happens when I line this case up to this guide that we built, and then I actually take the die and line it up into this corner from here, then we can actually place the case down and boom, voila. It might be a tiny little millimeter off or something, but it's pretty close. And we just stamp the rest out with this die, and we just use the mallet. We'll put something protective over here to whack it. We can use either one of these hammers. And what happens is the case gets cut exactly to these lines here, so where it's actually the right size to be on your phone. And then that's before we do the last step, where the very, very last thing we'll do is to put gecko grip actually into the case here so it can actually stick on your phone. And yeah. And so in order to spare you from listening to me whack this with the hammer, because it's not pleasant to listen to, I just went ahead and did it off camera. But you see it completely trims this excess bit off the edge, exactly like you see here. And we can actually see the finished case, at least finished in terms of the size. Boom. It actually comes out totally perfect all around to line up with your phone. And so now all we have to do is, well, a little bit of lint got on it, but we'll take care of that. And then we just got to put gecko grip. And yeah, this is sort of the final steps of the case build.